Noting that home ownership is the cornerstone of the prosperity of the modern family, the health of local neighborhoods, and a means of generational access to markets for credit, E&J Construction is desirous of working closely with a financial institution to assist landowners in obtaining low-interest loans for the construction of their homes. This initiative in its initial stage caters primarily to renting landowners seeking to invest in their future by funding the construction of their own home. In conjunction with a financial institution willing to fund this initiative at an affordable and competitive interest rate, E&J Construction endeavors to create a one-stop shop for home construction, financing, and ultimately, ownership. Noting that home ownership is the cornerstone of the prosperity of the modern family, the health of local neighborhoods, and a means of generational access to markets for credit, E&J Construction is desirous of working closely with a financial institution to assist landowners in obtaining low-interest loans for the construction of their homes. This initiative in its initial stage caters primarily to renting landowners seeking to invest in their future by funding the construction of their own home. In conjunction with a financial institution willing to fund this initiative at an affordable and competitive interest rate, E&J Construction endeavors to create a one-stop shop for home construction, financing, and ultimately, ownership. Noting that home ownership is the cornerstone of the prosperity of the modern family, the health of local neighborhoods, and a means of generational access to markets for credit, E&J Construction is desirous of working closely with a financial institution to assist landowners in obtaining low-interest loans for the construction of their homes. This initiative in its initial stage caters primarily to renting landowners.
Start in a couple of minutes. Let me know when you're ready. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Cornerstone initiative launch of today. We are sorry for a little late start due to the weather outside. Certain people couldn't get themselves here, and those who were in couldn't get outside. Okay, my name is Giles Dickinson, and I'm going to be chairing this procedure today. We start off with a prayer from Mr. Leon Matthew. Please.
Let us pray. Almighty and Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather here for this occasion. God, we ask that you would bless these proceedings from beginning to end. May everything that be done here be blessed and bring favor and honor to you. God, we ask again that you remain here with us, that everything line up with your honor and your glory. And we ask again for your blessings and your presence here this evening. In your name's sake, amen.
Thank you. My name, as most of you would know, it's Giles Dickinson. If I may take my mask off. Thank you very much. My name is Giles Dickinson, and I'm in a new role now from being what you call a movie producer or a media producer to becoming a marketing officer for this new initiative called the Cornerstone Initiative. The Cornerstone Initiative is a new way of helping not just young people, but those people who have lands and haven't been able to construct their homes on that piece of land. And as you can see, if you drive around not just St. Kitts and Nevis, but the Caribbean, lots of people have purchased land and have done nothing with it. And that's not through any fault of their own. Sometimes people have land and don't know what to do, or there's no one to help them. And so they're left to their own devices, which sometimes lead to nothing. Let's say all men are equal, but some are more equal than others. But Cornerstone Initiative came up with this idea to help people, Kittitians, Nevisians, and those of us who come to live in St. Kitts and Nevis and have acquired land and are about to acquire land to build their homes with the help of the construction company and the Bank of Nevis. Now, I said the Bank of Nevis in such a tone to let others know that St. Kitts and Nevis has now become an entity of its own, meaning that we're doing things for ourselves. There's St. Kitts and Nevis, other banks, and there's now the Bank of Nevis. It's a great entity in my vision that has come from what you call a little acorn and is now becoming into one of the greatest things in St. Kitts and Nevis, where we're helping people to help themselves. So, with no further ado, what I'd like to start off with now by showing you the actual demonstration video of who Cornerstone and what the Cornerstone Initiative really represents. Thank you.
E&J Construction Company strives to construct and complete quality civil engineering projects in a timely manner by providing quality service through a fair, honest, and professional working relationship with its clients, homeowners, and subcontractors. Founded by Mr. Errol Williams in 2006, a seasoned contractor since 1986, E&J Construction and its team sports 30-plus years of experience in the construction field, as well as highly skilled professionals dedicated to quality finished projects. Having its start in the construction of a variety of residential homes of different sizes and value, the company later branched out to a larger project from various industries. The company hereby endeavors to solve the problem of affordable housing in the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. E&J Construction has completed a number of projects in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis since 2006, including, but not limited to, residential homes and government buildings. Noting that home ownership is the cornerstone of the prosperity of the modern family, the health of local neighborhoods, and a means of generational access to markets for credit, E&J Construction is desirous of working closely with a financial institution to assist landowners in obtaining low-interest loans for the construction of their homes. This initiative in its initial stage caters primarily to renting landowners seeking to invest in their future by funding the construction of their own home. In conjunction with a financial institution willing to fund this initiative at an affordable and competitive interest rate, E&J Construction endeavors to create a one-stop shop for home construction, financing, and ultimately, ownership.
From what you were looking at just now. Now, next on the agenda is nothing short of genius, being a genius. If you were looking to catch fish, what would you do? You send out a fisherman. If you wanted to get to America, you'd use a plane or a ship in that manner. And if you're trying to build a home for young people or whoever wanted to go on that journey, there's nothing better than to get the Minister of Land and Housing. And at that note, I'll introduce Mr. Honorable, Eugene Hamilton to give a few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. Housing in St. Kitts and Nevis is in great demand. It has been amplified by many reasons, for many reasons, but two jump out at me immediately. One is the migration, or immigration, if you will, of persons from some of our sister islands into the Federation. The other, of course, is the presence of what we call offshore universities and students requiring places to abode. As a result, I have seen at some of the institutions with which I'm engaged, like NHC, for example, receiving applications in the thousands. At one stage, we had over 5,000 applications. With that kind of demand, it suggests that there are many opportunities for for contractors, for plumbers, for all of those technically skilled persons to be able to provide the services that will produce homes for the purpose which I described earlier. And so as a minister, over the last 7 years or so, I've had to be fully engaged in the work across the country in the construction of homes. For the last 2 generations or so, the government itself, through CHA and NHC, became engaged in home construction, and particularly in the last 7 years, I can tell you that we have done over 500 such homes in St. Kitts and Nevis through NHC. And that is a challenge, because every time we build homes, we seem to have more demand. Because of this demand, we have been encouraged to engage private sector, public-private sector partnerships. And without naming them, I have no difficulty naming them really, but we've had partnerships with TDC, for example. We've had partnerships with Dion Daniel. And we were approached by E&J Construction a few weeks ago, perhaps months ago. And in order to help them to deliver on the promise that we make to people, and also to satisfy the needs that they themselves have identified, we have submitted their proposals to our Ministry of Finance, primarily to see how we can facilitate the customers, potential customers of E&J, in getting duty-free concessions. But E&J don't have to worry, because truthfully, government is already on board providing duty-free concession to first-time homeowners, so that it is an opportunity, once you're getting first-time homeowners, to be able to benefit, or they will benefit from what the government has provided in terms of duty-free concessions. There are literally thousands of persons out there with land on which there are no homes up to now, some after 10, 15, 20 years, no homes constructed. I remember when I got involved in 2015 and did the first count, we had over 6,000 lots of land given out across the country where there were no homes constructed. True, some areas lacked infrastructure. That was one of the challenges. One of the challenges had been the lack of infrastructure, and we decided to do some work on those. And I imagine now that E&J is getting involved, whether they will apply for large slots of land and build small communities, or build on individual lots of land which people own, I imagine that we will ensure that all of the infrastructure is included. My ministry is looking at various options right now, because, like I said, the demand is huge. But I really welcome E&J Construction as a partner in providing the homes for persons in our community. The dynamics have changed. The cost of building a home continues to escalate. And I trust that through your efforts, the cost of producing homes for ordinary people will remain one which they can manage. In the end, you don't want to, or we don't want to, turn our young people in particular into slaves. I say that because it is sometimes difficult when young people get into debt and miss paying their debts. The first thing that they usually avoid paying is their homes. And then, of course, they're enslaved forever. I want to turn our young people. Someone is speaking to me. I'm speaking to myself. I apologize. So, on behalf of the ministry, I have with me, of course, my permanent secretary sitting right here, Mrs. Brenda Boncamper. I apologize. I should have introduced you from the very start. She is the person, the go-to person in the ministry that facilitates all of those who would want to work on things like housing and ecclesiastical affairs and social services, social security. And so without her, or when I'm not there, even if I'm there, she is really the hub, the go-to person in the ministry to get things done. So, Mrs. Bumcamper, I'm glad that you're here. And based on what I'm seeing on this leaflet that I pulled up, you have your work cut out for you. But I know that you're quite capable of dealing with these matters. So I trust that you will be able to facilitate E&J, or any other, for that matter, who would want to get involved in the construction of homes. Let me take this opportunity for those who might listen to this program after to encourage all of us in the country. Once you have the resources, or you have the will, or you have the insight, you should move forward, engage, and try and get involved in the construction of homes. I believe, from what I'm seeing, that there's significant demand that can really, that E&J alone cannot fulfill. You need many more partners than that. So I want to encourage persons who might listen to this program to see this as an area for investment and growth, while at the same time providing a service, social service to some extent, because, you know, we all know that Manslaughter has put at the bottom of that hierarchy, you know, food, clothing, and shelter. And so home, having a home, falls right in that category. So it's an important social development for every human being, you know, to have somewhere to lay their head and to be comfortable and feel safe. So I encourage you again, E&J. Forgive me for not calling you by name. You know, it's easy to say E&J. I have a company called E&J as well, but not company, enterprises. When I looked at it, I said, she stole my name. But I hope that the success that you get, my company will also get. Thank you for inviting me. I trust that your company will do well. I trust that many persons will benefit from your service. And I look forward to hearing great things as the years go by. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now, one thing I'd like to get out there to you who are viewing and those of you who are here. This is like what you call a one-stop shop, where, you know, you might, a long time ago, if you wanted to get potatoes, you'd have to go to a potato store. If you wanted to get apples, you go to an apple store. Here, at the Cornerstone Initiative, you are getting everything done for you initially, meaning that the drawings and the plans for your home are already being done. It's just for you to choose whether you want a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom, upstairs, downstairs, swimming pool, whatever you want. But for now, we are helping those of you who have plans of getting your home and have never been able to make that dream become a reality. It's now here, and you don't have to do anything except be qualified by the Bank of Nevis. All of your problems will be taken care of. Now, I don't want to say something that I don't know anything about, so without no further ado, I'll call one of the members of the Bank of Nevis, Mr. Jones, Fionn Jones, the marketing manager.
Thank you. I like that. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so please allow me to adopt the protocol that has been established by the chairperson. With your permission, sir, please allow me to make special mention to the Minister, Honorable Eugene Hamilton. Thank you for coming. I also want to make special mention to the head of the St. Kitts operations for the Bank of Nevis Limited, Miss Dawn Williams. Unfortunately, she could not have been here today due to prior business engagements, but she sends her best wishes to us for a successful event. My name is Fionn Jones, as previously mentioned, and it's a pleasure to be here representing the Bank of Nevis Limited, and we also call it Bond Strong. Now, when E&J approached us, this was an easy layup, As a matter of fact, the bank is happy to have partnered with E&J to provide once again another housing option for residents and persons who so desire to live in St. Kitts. I must say that we are pleased, and last year, April, when we first opened the Bank of Nevis Limited in St. Kitts, I spoke about a love affair. I started a love affair with the island of St. Kitts and the people of St. Kitts. And I can proudly say today, this feels like a love affair. By all means, it really feels like a love affair. And because of that, we have decided to partner with E&J to contribute to the housing sector in St. Kitts. Now, I just want to touch on the Bank of Nevis Limited. Our company has been around for over 35 years, and we believe in improving the quality of life for individuals. And of course, that is our mantra, and that is something that we stick to on a daily basis. And as you would know, and as previously mentioned by the Honorable Minister, that basic needs, one of the basic needs is to have a house. And that is something that the Bank of Nevis Limited is very big on. That's why we're here today. Now, you would have seen the designs thus far, and I must say I am very pleased with what I have seen. As a matter of fact, if I did not already own a home and have a family in Nevis, I would have told you today that I'm moving to St. Kitts. But I'm still waiting for approval to sign off on my permission slip, so hopefully I'll be moving over soon. Oh, I'm welcome. So the Bank of Nevis just want to say and wish E&J all the best as it relates to the housing market. We're here to provide solutions for persons in St. Kitts. There's been some talks of possibly going over across the waters to the beautiful island of Nevis as well. I can proudly say that we welcome that, and hopefully that will be done sooner than later. But now it's time to get to the meat of the matter. I am here to introduce to you our credit manager. This man has over 30 years of experience in banking with a heavy concentration in loans. He has built well over 100 homes, and he has brought the dreams of over 100 families to reality. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our credit manager, Mr. Denrick Liebert.
Thank you, Fayon. I don't know if I can do as good as him after that resounding introduction. Protocol, obviously established, but special good afternoon to you, Mr. Minister. Nice to have you here. I bring you greetings from the management and board of directors, shareholders, of course, and staff of the Bank of Nevis. And in support of what Fayon has just put on the table, is that when we were contacted by Mr. Williams regarding this partnership, I like to say it was a no-brainer. Because being from the standpoint where I sit, I have often recognized that there's an underserved population, part of the population, when it comes to housing. Back home in Nevis, with the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, they tend to build houses within the 200,000 mark. And then you will find that other developments started at 500 and 600. And there was nobody in between. And so it sort of left some persons out. How you serve those, that clientele. So I think it's a stroke of genius from Mr. Williams, looking at that niche and deciding to put together something that can serve those persons. And so it was easy for the Bank of Nevis to jump on board. And of course, with us now being in the St. Kitts market, we of course, well, officially in the St. Kitts market, because we do business with customers from St. Kitts way before we came last year, as Fayon said. Now, getting financing for homes has always been challenging for some of us because lack of information. Sometimes we are fearful of approaching banks. I want to say those days are gone. The Bank of Nevis is your partner for life. And if you're going to have a love affair, you're talking something serious, as Fayon said. So there's no need for that wall between the consumer and the bank. I need you. And I dare say I need you more than how you need me. Because in this day and age, you have options. There are many banks around. There are many lending institutions around. So what is it going to set Bank of Nevis apart from the rest? What we are proud of is that the decision making for any of your financing activities is on the ground. We do not have to send to Barbados. We do not have to send to Trinidad. We do not have to send to Jamaica or Antigua. Your decision makers are on the ground. That lends itself to speed, efficiency. Also, being in a small market, we tend to have the know-how. We know the the landscape. We know the geographics. Someone calls, Fayon jumps on a boat and comes to St. Kitts, or we have someone here. Vice versa. The place is not as big as we think. There's nowhere far in St. Kitts Nevis. And so we are here to respond to each and every applicant who believes that the Bank of Nevis is here for them. I want to say that we have put together a package for this, what I call alliance or love story, as Fayon likes to call it. 5%. Your rate is as low as 5%. 5% if you decide to put down 10% or any amount you wish to put forward. Of course, one knows simply if you make an input into a loan, it means that your payment becomes smaller and you pay less interest, of course. And so you would only pay 5%. But not only that, we are willing to lend you more than 100%. And we say more than 100% because there are fees involved when you do your mortgage. There are legal fees. And so we are saying, if we do that, we're tacking on 0.5% more. So that person will pay 5.5%. Just 5%, that's 0.5% more. And we have your repayment can start as low as 20 years to as high as 30 years. All depends on your income capacity, your earnings. And I understand students, and I know Mr. Williams is looking to see how this project can help students. And I'm saying here, those students with students' loan, don't be afraid. We can work something out for you. We look at the numbers. In life, everything is a numbers game. We look at your numbers, choose your design, talk to the Bank of Nevis, and the rest. You leave the rest up to us. As the gentleman said earlier, what I like about this, you don't have to be worrying about plans. You don't have to get an architect to draw your plans. That's another set of money you don't have to worry about. I will tell you that the only fee you will have to, or you may have to consider, it's our commission fee. And banks normally charge between 1% and 2% commission on financing. For this project, the Bank of Nevis is only charging 1% of the total amount. That could be financed as well. In the 110% and all that I'm speaking about, we can do that. And all that will matter is your interest rate will change to 5.5. Remember, if your input, it's 5%. So you get a lower percent for putting in something, having some skin in the game, as they say. We have our own legal department, which means that everything is transacted in-house. Again, we speak about efficiency. We have our in-house legal department that will take care of that for you. And of course, the house is completed, and I see a number of players here, TDC, Hosfords. You need your furniture. We can accommodate you as well. So, this project is designed for you to rest easy. As someone who built a house, you can imagine that sometimes you have to be worrying about where you're going to get blocks, where you're going to get cement. Tomorrow morning, the contractor calls on you, and you're scrambling. An arrangement such as this takes all of that out of the picture. The onus is on Mr. Williams to deliver. You don't have anything to worry about. Once you sign on the dotted line, it's a matter, at some point in time, he says, here are the keys to your home. And I think you don't want anything better than that. Like I said, times have changed. We are seeing how we can make life easy for our customers, both existing and those to come. The days of feeling like, I don't think I can do this. I don't want to approach this bank. I have a fear that they will turn me down. Start abandoning that fear, because I refer to what the minister says about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And when you start to entertain the idea of home ownership, land ownership, trust me, you are making a significant step in your life. You will be surprised to see how things take a different turn. A landless people have no power. I want everyone to understand that. A landless people has no power. When you have your land, when you have your property, you negotiate from a position of strength. And so, after this, I'll be entertaining all the questions that you may have. But I just want to say to you that we are very, very excited to be a part of this project. We are happy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I hope that this is very clear to those of you who are here and those of you who are outside looking at this on Facebook, YouTube, wherever the platform is. Now, what I'm happy to say is, many years ago, the cost of a house was something like $67,000 to build one of these houses. That's about 20 years ago. I don't know how much it is coming up because I wasn't in that trade, but now today, I'm urging you to move fast and take advantage of the situation, because procrastination is an expensive word. If you do not move and take advantage of the situation, next 5 years, these houses might be double the price. Things may have changed, as you can see. So I'm urging those of you to listen carefully to what was said to you just now by the Bank of Nevis, which is the real foundation of helping you to move forward, along with the professionalism of E&J Construction. And for those of you who did not see the introductory video, some of those examples are right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Those of you who go to the bus terminal to go home, those of you who go to the supermarket that's in front of KFC, those of you who go to the other KFC in Bird Rock, and many other places that this company, E&J Construction, who are the people behind this construction project, are what you call roots construction people. And the good thing about it is they're from right here in your country, St. Kitts and Nevis. Now, without any further ado, what I'd like to that this offer is not just to people in St. Kitts. It's also been extended to Nevis. We went and we saw those who make decisions in Nevis, and they have accepted that this is something that would be glad for the people of Nevis also. So we're not leaving out Nevis. We're one federation. It's a plan that's for the whole federation. And as you can see, the Bank of Nevis is no longer just in Nevis. And hopefully in the next 20 years, when I go back to England, I will see the Bank of Nevis on the high street in England and in all parts of America, wherever I go. Even when I go to Dubai, I'm sure I'll see the Bank of Nevis there. And your home that you're going to be building will be part of that investment, which in time will, the funds that, that this project will bring forth will take care of the generations that are here and those who are unborn. Now, I'd like to introduce the geniuses behind this whole thing. Let me put on my glasses so I can not make mistakes. First, let me introduce the CEO of this company, Mr. Errol Williams, who is the CEO of the Cornerstone Initiative, followed by Rodney Wilson, who is the, so my eye is not very good, who done the home designs. Then we have Mr. Dwight, who is the engineer and server technician. Then we also have Gareth Payne, who is a technical person, and myself, Giles Dickinson, the marketing manager. Come on, gentlemen. And one thing you'll notice, we're all handsome-looking men, which should, okay. So Williams. We're fine, no, come forward, you're fine. Okay, so if you walk and go in that direction, as you pass, the camera will see you.
Junior is going to do the closing remarks.
Yes. Okay. Right now, you may not be able to ask questions today because of time restraint that we have, but we will be having this video out on the necessary platforms with contact numbers. Those of you who know the Bank of Nevis, you just make a phone call and they will put you through. Those of you, again, you could look at E&J Construction, and you can contact us there. But mainly, the first thing that you need to do is to make sure that you're eligible with the Bank of Nevis. That's where your journey begins, with the Bank of Nevis. And as he said, all you have to do is just show up and give your information. And it's right here on the land where we live. Now we'll have the closing remarks. I'm not so good with seeing here today. We'll have the vote of thanks for you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Errol Williams, Jr. I've been consulting on this project from day one. So my dad asked me to make a few remarks on the project, to create a speech, actually. But I told him there was no need. I'll speak to you guys directly. You've heard the word cornerstone over and over again today, but no one has told you what it is. The cornerstone is the most important part of any structure, any organization. We believe that home ownership is the most important part of being a citizen of your country, of being a parent, of your future, of you and your children's future. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the Honorable Minister speak to the demand in St. Kitts and Nevis right now for housing. That demand has been twofold. I speak to you as someone 10 years your junior, and to return to the Federation and see rental prices skyrocketing, quoted in US dollars, no matter where in the island you see, where in the island you go, has been jading. We see architectural fees increasing yearly. We see construction fees increasing yearly. It's a problem, and E&J Construction, the Cornerstone Initiative, is the response to that problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we've met with the Honorable Minister. We've advocated on your behalf. we've met with not only the Bank of Nevis, but multiple banks on Ireland. The goal was to get the best offer for you, and the Bank of Nevis has ensured us that the best and lowest interest rate would be offered to you. We've taken the struggles out of home ownership and encouraged you. We've encouraged all of you to make this transition. We thank the Honorable Minister for coming out. We thank the Bank of Nevis for coming out. We thank the architect for his designs. We thank E&J Construction for the idea. Look around the room, ladies and gentlemen. All the major stakeholders on Ireland interested in home ownership are here. The earnest is on you now. Take the step to ensure the future of your children and their children. Home ownership is that future. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And there you have it. Now, I missed one thing, which I didn't say, and I apologize very much. We have, I think it was mentioned earlier, we have our own suppliers for your home here. The Bank of Nevis explained that. When I first came to St. Kitts, I had to go to Puerto Rico to buy the things I needed for my home. Now, we have TDC, we have Hosford, we have whoever they are. Whatever you want to do is right here. So the onus is on you. Thank you for watching, and you'll be hearing from us. Good night.
E&J Construction has completed a number of projects in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis since 2006, including but not limited to residential homes and government buildings. Bernie Griot. E&J Construction was easy to work with. They made suggestions for the improvement of the building design. They completed the construction ahead of schedule, very responsive to requests, and recommended for all your construction requirements. Carl and Mary Richardson. In early 2009, my wife and I decided to return home to the land of our birth to retire. However, we decided to renovate our house of over 30 years before doing so. E&J Construction willingly offered their services to complete the task of both renovating and extending the old property. I emphasize that Mr. Williams exhibited a high level of professionalism as he went above and beyond the call of duty to give his expert advice on changes he thought would enhance the property as well as making it more structurally sound. Friends, family, and even onlookers who knew the previous house sang high praises of the quality of work that were carried out on the property. I highly recommend E&J Construction to anyone looking to construct their house. They are very professional and reliable as they offer only the best, first-class work. James E. Kelly, MAPM SKNIA Project Manager, Architect, Appraiser. I have had the opportunity to work with Mr. Errol Williams and E&J Construction Limited in the field of construction as the architect and project manager for the Zang and Zang commercial development located at Port Zante Bastille, St. Kitts, during the period November 30th, 2010 to June 25th, 2012. At the same time, I have known Errol personally as a skilled worker for over 20 years. The qualities of workmanship that Mr. Williams and E&J Construction Limited demonstrated during the construction of the named project were very outstanding and to my mind will be an asset to the E&J Construction Limited whenever and wherever this company goes and undertakes the task to provide construction services in their future endeavor. As a result of these qualities, I would like to take this opportunity in recommending E&J Construction Limited to be an integral part of the projects that this company is seeking to provide their services. E&J Construction Company strives to construct and complete quality civil engineering projects in a timely manner by providing quality service through a fair, honest, and professional working relationship with its clients, homeowners, and subcontractors. Founded by Mr. Errol Williams in 2006, a seasoned contractor since 1986, E&J Construction and its team sports 30-plus years of experience in the construction field, as well as highly skilled professionals dedicated to quality finished projects. Having its start in the construction of a variety of residential homes of different sizes and value, the company later branched out to a larger project from various industries. The company hereby endeavors to solve the problem of affordable housing in the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. E&J Construction has completed a number of projects in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis since 2006, including, but not limited to, residential homes and government buildings. Noting that home ownership is the cornerstone of the prosperity of the modern family, the health of local neighborhoods, and a means of generational access to markets for credit, E&J Construction is desirous of working closely with a financial institution to assist landowners in obtaining low-interest loans for the construction of their homes. This initiative in its initial stage caters primarily to renting landowners seeking to invest in their future by funding the construction of their own home. In conjunction with a financial institution willing to fund this initiative at an affordable and competitive interest rate, E&J Construction endeavors to create a one-stop shop for home construction, financing, and ultimately, ownership. Noting that home ownership is the cornerstone of the prosperity of the modern family, the health of local neighborhoods, and a means of generational access to markets for credit, E&J Construction is desirous of working closely with a financial institution to assist landowners in obtaining low-interest loans for the construction of their homes. This initiative in its initial stage caters primarily to renting landowners seeking to invest in their future by funding the construction of their own home. In conjunction with a financial institution willing to fund this initiative at an affordable and competitive interest rate, E&J Construction endeavors to create a one-stop shop for home construction, financing, and ultimately, ownership. Noting that home ownership is the cornerstone of the prosperity of the modern family, the health of local neighborhoods, and a means of generational access to markets for credit, E&J Construction is desirous of working closely with a financial institution to assist landowners in obtaining low-interest loans for the construction of their homes. This initiative in its initial stage caters primarily to renting landowners seeking to invest in their future by funding the construction of their own home. In conjunction with a financial institution willing to fund this initiative at an affordable and competitive interest rate, E&J Construction endeavors to create a one-stop shop for home construction, financing, and ultimately, ownership. Noting that home ownership is the cornerstone of the prosperity of the modern family, the health of local neighborhoods, and a means of generational access to markets for credit.